Let's take a look at how to determine the equation of a parabola from a graph. And we're going to be writing our equation in vertex form. Y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. So what we're going to do is we are going to do them one by one. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the vertex. So we're going to look at the red one, or parabola A, first. And here's its vertex down here. Now the vertex here is at -2 and -3. So we know our h and our k based off of that vertex. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to check our step. So are we going over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, or are we doing something else? So we're going to start back at the vertex here, and we're going to go right 1, and then up 1 and see where we are. Okay, well, if we go right 1 and then we try to go up 1, yes, we've gone exactly up 1. So let's check the next step. So we've gone right 1 and up 3, and yes, we've gone exactly over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3. So I'm going to try and kind of sketch that in. It might get a little squishy. Okay, so there is our step. So that means our a value is going to be 1. And it's opening upward, so it's also going to be positive. So the equation for the red graph is going to be y is equal to +1 bracket x plus 2. Now remember, we have a +2 in here. It's the opposite sign of what the x coordinate of the vertex is. So down here we have that -2, so it is the opposite sign, so squared. And then our k value, which gives us our y coordinate of the vertex, is -3. Now you don't have to have that 1 right there. If you want, you can just write it like this. Y is equal to x plus 2 squared minus 3. Let's go on to the blue one, or parabola B. So we're going to start off by identifying the vertex again. And the vertex here is at 0 and -5. Okay, so that'll give us our h and our k. And now we need to look at a. We see that it's opening upwards, so it's going to be positive, but now we need to check for the step. So if we start at the vertex, we're going to go to the right 1, and then if we try to go up 1, right there, you will see that, wait, we're not on the parabola anymore. So this does not have an a value of 1 because it doesn't have the step 1, 3, 5. Okay, so we have to try that again. So we're going to go over 1, and now we're going to go up until our parabola is going through the corner of these squares. So that would be right here. So here we've gone over 1 and then up 3. Let's see if we can get another point in here. So we're going to go over 1 and then we're going to go up until we meet all the way up here. So this one is over 1, up 9. Right? So we've gone over 1, up 3, over 1, up 9. Now, this tells us that our a value is 3, and your a value is always based off of that first step, right? So we really only had to do the first one. Over 1, and then we went up 3, right there. So our a value is 3. So our equation is going to be y is equal to +3 bracket x, oops, we don't even need the bracket here. So +3 times x squared and then -5. Now we don't need the brackets because our the x value of our vertex is 0. Right? So we don't need to write x plus 0 squared in brackets. So this here is our final equation, and let's just bubble the one for the red one above. Okay, lastly, let's look at the green one. So we're going to identify the vertex, which is at 3 and 0. And then we're going to try and figure out the step for this one. So this one looks a little bit harder because it's going to be hard to read. So if we go over 1 and then we try and go down, it's hard to read like what exactly where we are at right here. So let's try going over 2. So if we go over 2, then we're going down 1, and we're right here. And that still isn't really telling us the full story, because we know that the a value is going to be less than 1, right? Because here our intersection is less than 1 after we've gone over 1. But it's not really giving us what that value is just yet, because it's hard to see what's happening right there. So we're going to keep going. So now we're going to go over, if we start at the beginning and then we go down over 3 and then down 3, we can't really see where we are here. Now, here's the trick. We're going to start all the way back at the beginning, and by the beginning, I mean that vertex. If we go over 4 and then down 4, you'll see that this right here, it goes right through the corner of those squares. So this actually tells us that our a value is 1/4 or 1/4, because we've been able to go, I'm going to use a different color here. We've been able to go over 4 and then down 4. So 4 and 4. You could try and estimate that this first little part here is 1/4, so over 1 and then down 1/4. But this really confirms it, that we're going over 4 from the original vertices and down 4. So for the green one, our a value is going to be 1/4, and it opens downward. So we need that to be negative. So our equation is going to be y is equal to -1/4 bracket x minus 3 close bracket. Again, remember opposite sign in the brackets of what we see from the x coordinate of the vertices squared. Now our k value is 0 because the y coordinate of our vertex is 0 as well. So here is our equation.